Good morning, class. Today's lesson is going to be on listening. So today we are going to discuss the pre-listening process, during, and the post-listening process. And I'm going to give you some activities to do based on those three listening processes. So just to give you some prior learning and some prior knowledge, before we dive into our lesson on, as I've said, on the pre, during, and post-listening process, it's important for us to acknowledge the wealth of knowledge and experiences that each of you will bring into my classroom. I just want you to know that it's important for us to listen, and listening is a fundamental skill we use in our everyday lives. I'm sure sometimes you find yourself in a situation where your mom may be pulling your ears because you're not listening. And I'm sure you've heard many a time someone say listening is a skill. So just to move on, when we listen, it's either we're listening to someone, we are following instructions, when you're having a conversation with somebody. We basically use listening in everyday life. Right now, you are using the skill of listening as I'm talking to you because you're listening to me speak. Even when we watch movies or when we watch adverts, we are attentive, we are listening. When we watch different things on social media, we are using the skill of listening. So what I want to also say is we also need to reflect on our past experiences with listening activities. So I want you to just quickly think about a time when you listened and a time when you didn't listen, and what happened when you didn't listen and what happened when you did listen. I want to consider the strategies you've used to comprehend spoken language, whether it's watching movies, listening to music, or engaging in conversations with friends and family. Think about the challenges you've faced, and if you were a bad listener before, how have you overcome that bad listening? How have you become a good listener? I want you to tap into your prior knowledge. I want you to think of a past time where you didn't listen to your mom and it was kind of a big situation. And by tapping into this previous experience and this prior knowledge, we are able to better understand the importance of developing effective listening skills. So if you know that you are somebody that is not a great listener, then how do you think about the past times? How would you collect yourself to listen? Because sometimes we can get distracted when by other things. Maybe you could be reading a book and you think you're listening, but you're not really listening, you're just hearing. There's a difference also between hearing and listening. And I want to also approach today's lesson with the foundation of familiarity and readiness for us to learn. So what we're going to do is we are going to do activities that are going to help us listen to understand, not listen to respond. We are going to do activities where we're listening for appreciation and interaction. And we're also going to do listening to instructions, following instructions, because following instructions shows that you are listening, and then listening to remember. Okay. So also, have you ever heard of the game Broken Telephone? Now, Broken Telephone is a great activity and a great listening game that many people have played in their lives. And it's fun because that's when you see that people really actually don't listen. The listening skills just completely fly out the window. So that is an activity that we are going to play, but towards the end of the lesson, with the last 5 minutes of the lesson. But I just want you to think about the times that you have played Broken Telephone and it starts off as one message, and then by the time it gets to the end, it's completely something else that sometimes we don't even recognize. So that is basically what we are going to do today in today's lesson. I want you guys to have an open mind to all our activities that we are doing. If you struggle at any point, just lift up your hand and I will help you see clarity, and we are going to continue with our first activity.